the web. District Attorney Steve Cooley comes out swinging against 8 Bell City officials today. They're now in custody and charged with corruption.
A civil conspiracy that defrauded the public and enriched themselves.
Well, this scandal, as you can imagine, has been causing a lot of anger in the city of Bell.
You know, we organized the community and we got people to get involved, and we started huge rallies at City Hall, and we were the organization that actually recalled the city council members. We got them out of office. 8
in all charged with corruption to the tune of $5.5 million in public funds.
And that's like an awesome feeling. The Bell Association to Stop the Abuses is what moved all of this forward. Robert Rizzo, the city manager, he was the brains of the operation. He was the puppet master, so to speak. And when you would see, it was so apparent when you would go to city council meetings. There was one person who came in and she's like, I think we need a stop sign, you know, because, you know, kids are coming in and out, you know, they're like crossing, and I think we need a crossing guard actually. And so they all look at Robert Rizzo and they're just like, and then he gives them the okay, and he's like, yeah, yes, absolutely. And I, you know, it was right, it was blatant in our face.
Oh my God.
I'm like, we elected these, you know, public officials. We elected them into office to make decisions on our behalf. You know, as a city council member, it's our voices. It's supposed to be the voice of the people. Any changes that happen at City Hall happen through them.
Okay.
So Robert Rizzo wouldn't be able to like give himself this high salary without, you know,
everybody kind of having the
with
same.
the council. You know, they wanted to do it in a way so it would look like it was clean and legal, but it wasn't. You know, obviously they went to court and they were all found guilty. Today we know that they were doing this illegally, and they were lying to us. You know, we would ask them, we would try to ask them like, oh, so, you know, how much are you guys making? And they would either give us like false like documents, or they would like send their little like city attorney. He would like send us notices saying like, oh, at this time, you know, this information is not available, but when it is, we'll send it out to you.
We've demanded to see their salaries, and you know, you could get more information out of the Kremlin in Russia than you can out of Bell City Council. And so they've been skirting the issue for many years on many avenues. To this day, people have told me they can't get a copy of that Measure A. That's public information, and that's illegal.
So Robert Rizzo was the one who was making twice as much as the president?
Yeah.
Which is just outrageous.
Outrageous. It's crazy.
What makes it so outrageous is that Bell is the poorest county in Los Angeles.
It was a big deal, and it was important for us as community members. Like for me, like personally, like I just thought like no, we gotta keep on moving forward and trudging and fighting, and when we feel weak, like we need to keep moving forward.
So it did affect you personally, like you were moved by it and you felt like you had to do it. It was in your soul.
And it wasn't a me job, it was like everybody in the community, and it was like this fire inside of everybody to make this change. And I remember thinking and reflecting, thinking like we need to see this all the way through, because it's not just for our community, it's for any other communities that are struggling with similar situations that want to do something about it. And if we can do it, then they can do it as well.
So tell me about the rallies. Like, what did you do? What was your role in organizing the community to come and rally?
What we would do is like we would put all the information, like anything they need to know, like, you know, your city council members are stealing from you. This is what's happening. This is how much they're making. This is what can be done. You know, meet us before a city council meeting at, let's say, 6 p.m. And we would say right in front of City Hall we're gonna meet. And then we would literally get up at 3. Yeah, we would get up at 3 a.m. with like stacks of paper, and we would go door to door and post it. Like, you know, we had Christina like informing people like, okay, this is what's going on today at the council meeting. So once you go in there, like, you know, these are the points that they're gonna be addressing. So say something according to one of these points. Like they're like, oh, okay, yeah, we're gonna talk about these facts. Like they'd be in there and they'd be like, you are a scumbag!
You were a crook yesterday, you're a crook today, and you'll be a crook tomorrow, man. Yeah. You're all crooks.
It is what it is, and it needed to happen. You know, like people needed to have that outlet and let them know that it wasn't okay.
You tell us how sorry you are. Well, you know what? You guys are not sorry. You should be sorry for failing us, because you failed us. You failed to do your job. You failed to listen to us about our taxes, and you guys do not deserve to be running the city. And we want you to resign now.
Do people at work know that you're so heavily involved with the activism?
No, it's not something. I mean, I think maybe a couple people I've like kind of told, and you know, like during orientation, you know, like they ask, oh, so tell us something interesting about yourself. So it's like, oh, well, this is what I do, you know.
I co-founded BASTA.
No. I showed up to support my sister who works for the police department here in Bell, and she like told me, oh, you know, there's gonna be this, they're gonna try to shut us all down, they're trying to get rid of the police department, you know, city council members. I'm like, is there anything we can do? Like, she was like, no, it's pretty much done. Like, there's nothing that can be done. And so like we got this like call. I remember I was like listening to it, and I was in my mom's room, and I'm like, Mom, they want us to go to a city council meeting. And she's like, when? And I was like, Wednesday. She's like, we're there. And I was like, really? And so like she's like, yeah. So we go, and I was like, this is BS. They're so condescending the way they're talking to us and how they're making us look like we're below them. Like I was like, Mom, I'm gonna say something. She's like, no. She's like, you better not. I'm like, I'm going to. And she's like, if you do that, I'm leaving. And I'm like, well, then you're gonna have to leave. I didn't know
What
that
did you say?
I've been watching you guys, and your demeanor, the way you're treating us, is so disrespectful. Anytime one of us has a point, a great point, one of you guys up here diminishes that. I'm like, you guys are supposed to be here to serve us, not the other way around. After that was done, like everybody, I mean, people were cheering for each other, but like people cheered, and I was like, what the hell? You know, like what's going on here? And then like I walked out, and everybody was like, can I get your number? Can I get your number? Can I get your number? We need to do this, and we need to, you know, like we need to get together. We need to make these changes because this is good. And I'm just like, sure. And it just felt like this unity. Like you're just baffled, and you're like, what can I do? What can you do? Anything? You know, that was like the first thing. It's like you were hitting a brick wall in the beginning, because it wasn't even a news story. You know, in the beginning, it was just things that we knew. You know, because we like we're investigating ourselves, and it felt like we were going against the giant.
So what does the word community mean to you?
People coming together, people fighting for the same cause with different talents. You know, I have talents, you have talents, and together, you know, we make these huge changes. I mean, many times I was just like, what am I doing? Like, why do I keep fighting this? But it's like something inside me just told me, just keep doing it. Like you will make a difference. Like not me, but like we united, you know, because like when I would get uninspired, like somebody else would come in and like re-inspire me. I mean, you know, that was like the first sign of like community activism. You know, it was just awesome.
What kind of advice do you have for people who want to make a difference in their community, but they don't feel like they have a strong enough voice, and they don't have a group or an organization that they're part of, but they want to make a change?
Many times we tend to focus on the problem and and that's great. You need to know what the problem is in order to figure out a solution, but don't stay in the problem for too long, because you'll attract more of the problem. You know, so think of the solution. If you really are truly for your community and not for self-interests, you will attract those people, and those people will walk alongside with you, and you will be able to actually make those differences in your city, in your community, in whatever problem. It doesn't even have to be citywide. It could be at work, anywhere. You know, it's if you have that passion, that spark, you will do it.
Cool. So it's almost like, despite this horrible thing happening here, it taught you something about yourself.
Absolutely. And so that's where I learned that this is my passion. You know, I loved the feeling that it gave me. It was just like, I wanted to be around it all the time. I wanted to be around these people all the time. I felt I owed it to stay, even though like I'm just one voice, you know, and I'm just one person. Like I still wanted to contribute anything that I could.